Hi guys, welcome to Truth Talkin Thursday. I wish you could have heard what just happened, but we're not going to go there.
I told her to lock and load.
Okay, he's been poking the bear for like 10 minutes before we started recording, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, but I'm thinking there's going to be some like raised blood pressure or something. Anyway, but you know, we're Jim and Jane. This is Jim, I'm Jane, and yeah, we're on a mission today. So Jim is. He poked me, and you know what? I have my coffee, so I'm pretty sure that'll mellow me out. So ask your question, Jim.
I must say that she took about 8.5 seconds to respond to the poke. You know, so she's not too far behind me. And what we were talking about, really, I mean, we were talking about an unfortunate thing that happened in our little town in the past 3 or 4 days, and it's hard to believe that it did happen, and I won't go into what that was or anything else, but it was not very nice. Really uncalled for and all that kind of stuff, and we would have thought that we were far, far beyond this sort of thing happening. But anyway, what came out of that was the idea. I had asked the question of my cohort here: is equality an ideal that we should strive for in all cases? And that morphed into a discussion on freedom.
Yeah, because he didn't like my response.
Well, and would you like to share with our audience what your response was?
I said that equality needs to be qualified, in a nutshell. Like, I think that there are some things that they aren't equal, but I do think that there are certain things that should be kind of understood, I guess, as far as like freedom of speech, right? Like everybody should be able to say what they want to say, and each person is in control of that because you have your own inner restraint. So if you decide you want to say something knowing it's going to hurt somebody, have at her. But if you decide not to say everything that you want to say because it's going to hurt somebody, have at her too. But Jim didn't like that.
But you had qualified that.
I said rules, and you didn't like the rules.
Okay, now the rest of the story is starting to come out here.
Yeah. And
what I said was, in response to that, was, well, if there's rules involved, then there's no freedom. It can't be freedom if you're free to do this, this, and this, but you can't do this, this, and this. So that's not freedom. That's a negotiation and an agreement of some kind. I grant you that, but it's not freedom. Because I'm not free to express myself completely and totally because I have to worry about being sanctioned in some way. Well, that's not freedom. To me, that's not freedom. So, am I free to go and talk to my neighbor in a way that you might not want to be talked to, or would a listener would find it offensive?
Happens yourself. I know you. You wouldn't just go and you stop laughing. You would never intentionally hurt somebody. I don't believe that.
No, I wouldn't.
You would say what you mean. Like, I think you've said stuff to me that made me think. I don't think you've ever really hurt my feelings because you've said the truth.
Well,
like it made me. Wow.
I must be falling down.
You're cruising today, buddy.
You're right. I would never go out and intentionally hurt somebody.
No.
But it doesn't mean that's just who I am, and that's my upbringing and my culture, all that sort of. That's who I am as a human being, as an individual.
But I think there's lots of people who are like that, and I think the people that are not like that should learn to be like that because it's common sense. I brought up the golden rule: like, do unto others what you want them to do to you. And that's common sense, right? If you don't want somebody to barge into your home and yell at you, then, probably not a good idea to do that to somebody else.
But what happens if somebody actually does want to do that?
Well, then they can expect that might happen to themselves, and 20 times worse. There might be 5 big, huge, fat, hairy, tattooed, burly guys that are going to come in and yell the crap out of them.
But that gets away from the topic.
Really.
We're talking about corporal punishment coming into play here.
Not really.
Well, if you do
we're just talking about freedom.
I'm gonna nail your feet to the floor, and then I'm gonna ask you to dance, and if you can't, then I'm gonna beat the daylights out. You can't. This isn't right here, and it's not freedom. So is freedom Does freedom have a price, or does freedom have conditions, or does it? And if it does, my statement is, then it's not freedom.
I think everything has a price. Everything has a price.
Uh-huh.
And some of the prices are of our own making.
Some of them are supposed on us by society, by towns, people, by governments, and mostly by governments who really don't have any right to stick their nose into people's private business.
We have to accept the speed limits.
And that happens to be the topic of today was about freedom, right?
Yes.
And you don't have the freedom. There's boundaries. There's expectations.
But it's there for my own safety, and I think generally we would accept that.
It's for other people's safety.
It's for all of us together, me included.
But you're driving the car. I mean, you're supposed to be driving safely. You were driving at 76.
Okay, but it's not the Autobahn.
You felt safe at that speed.
I would like to drive on the Autobahn.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. Yeah. The brand new Maserati underneath you. There you go. Something like that.
Something wild.
So the question then is freedom. Is it truly freedom? Do we think that it is freedom? Are we free to do it? I was just saying as well that there's boundaries in all the things that we do and expectations. Somebody, someplace is going to disagree with your right to freedom. And so they have a right to express that right. And where does it all stop?
I see what you're saying, but I still stand by what I said.
I'm sure you do. Good for you.
I think there's a...
And I think you're wrong. So
I think there's an expectation. And I think everybody has that expectation, and I think that's a good expectation for us to have as humans. You can express yourself, but you have to monitor your own self. If you don't want to be perceived as a dick, then don't act like one.
Why should I have to live my life according to your expectations? Yes, I do. That's what you're saying. Well, I think everybody should have expectations. So you're saying that unless I'm mistaken, I'm part of that everybody. But I should think like you do.
You do have expectations. You have expectations that I'm going to listen to you, that I'm not just going to say, Jim,
shut up. I expect
that
I'm going to be free enough to do what I want to do.
Exactly. And you are.
And if I hurt somebody...
You have two options. Either make it right or say, I'm sorry that you're hurt, but I stand by this. So
if I was to physically punch somebody in the face, that would be one thing. But if I was to just say, well, I think you're an idiot. That's a different thing. So I can say that, but I can't punch somebody. Is that true? Because the expectation is not to hurt anybody. So do we have to say, well, but you can't hurt somebody physically, but if you want to call them a three-armed dorkhead or something like that, and that's offensive to them, that's okay.
No, I'm saying you can do that if you want. But you can rest assured there's going to be some sort of consequence to what you're doing.
Then there isn't any freedom. There is no freedom in my actions. I'm free to behave the way I want. That's the true word. That's the true freedom. So yes. What is freedom? Let's get back to that again. What is freedom? Maybe what we need to do is redefine what freedom is for the folks out there, because a lot of people are running around in the States, especially now. And starting, this movement is kind of moving into Canada now, apparently, that we need to redefine the word freedom in terms of what it is, what it stands for, how far it goes, does it have boundaries to it, and if so, what are they? And it needs to be stated that way, because we're not free.
What I'm getting at, I think, is that our moral compass, if people don't understand what freedom is, and what the golden rule is, and all of those things. If people don't understand that, then to me, your moral compass is off. Because I feel that every one of us is born with an ingrained knowledge of what's right and wrong. Hence, when you're little and you're naughty, you fear your parent because you know something's going to happen. And you probably won't like it.
You probably get the daylights whipped out of you. Okay, so... but again, you're asking, what you're saying to me is that if, as long as I live by your doctrines and your moral values, which you believe to be true and right, and I'm not disagreeing with that, then I'm going to be in the wrong here, because I don't subscribe to what it is you believe everybody should exhibit when they're behaving in public or even in private places.
I don't think that's what I'm saying, though.
What did you just say?
I think what I'm saying is everybody has that.
You're saying it's an innate quality.
Yeah, I'm not telling you that you have to do something. But honestly, I don't think that because of that innate, ingrained feelings that we have and knowledge that we have that isn't taught by our parents, it's just in you.
Well, it is taught by your parents if they take you out back and whip the daylights out of you because you messed up.
Okay, so then let's back up from that. Then let's
Okay.
back up from what I said, and let's say your ingrained knowledge of what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody tells you what it is. You feel it.
Well, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, so tell me what it feels like. It's like what a cherry tastes like, and you can't do it.
Feels good, real good.
I understand what you're saying. I do understand. I'm just kind of yanking your chain at the moment, but
I know.
But I get that.
But what I was thinking was, I don't know if I can put it into words, but because we have that in us, it's gonna be that makes us not feel good about the action that we've taken that is negative. You said about punching someone in the face,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that for some people, I think like acts of violence like that can give a momentary release, a feel good feeling.
Oh, sure.
But I also think it's probably followed by a sense of, crap, what have I done? Or, like, I remember my son relaying that at one point about getting into a fight and thinking like...
But you'd have a hard-pressed time telling a sociopath that, or
True.
or somebody...
That's an illness. You can't really lump
Well,
everything
it
in the
is
same.
to a point, and then it depends on what he does with that. I mean, there's a... Anyway, we're getting away from freedom thing, but there's some thoughts around behaviors and freedoms, and your point's well taken in that. What about those folks who are considered to be mentally ill?
Mm-hmm.
Are they responsible to manage their own freedoms?
Well, and I think that's where it comes around full circle again, that I guess we really can't have equality straight across the board.
No.
It's not possible because there's too many variables. But I think we can have expectations. I don't think we have to give that up.
So should we leave it with the characters out there that may be listening or watching?
All right. Throw us back your evaluations, and we'll try to be a little more.
But
level.
this won't be the last time we talk about this either, because I'll probably bring it up again if Jane doesn't. So
Probably.
this
He just likes to get me like going. I know he does because it amuses him. Anyway, have a great
to admit it's fun.
Okay. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for stopping by.